Welcome back to another episode of the Pickle Pulse, here live at the world famous, okay, maybe locally famous, Chestnut Forks Tennis, and I want to call it a country club, but there's not a golf course out back. What would you call it, Colin?
I think we're just going with athletic club.
Tennis and Athletic Club. So we have myself, Brian Green, your host,
James Broker,
Mike Strain,
double intro,
Collin Vero-Casavant.
All right, and he's so badass, he has the double last name. So if you're a top player out of Virginia, you have to be a Vero-Casavant or a Medina Alvarez, maybe. And then your duper goes up automatically.
The hyphen helps. I think I'm foreign. It worked for me in tennis. It worked.
So I should know this, Colin, but you played college tennis, yes?
I did. Played college tennis. Grew up playing tennis. That was my go-to sport. Played all the way through, and then played a little bit after college and some low-level pro stuff, and then started teaching, and I've been teaching all over California, Illinois, East Coast, West Coast, a little bit of everything.
Okay,
Now
I'm learning
here.
things.
Now here.
Okay, so this is like your final landing spot here in beautiful Warrenton, Virginia.
This was the hot spot, getting a little bit closer to family when my wife and I had a couple kids, trying to get back closer to everybody's family, and this is where we landed.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
With a rack of kids on my own, I can appreciate that.
You know, me too. Just
settling
not
in.
with any kids of my own, but just appreciative of good dads out there.
You're just in the community.
Just
You're
good dads.
Good
It's
dad.
awesome.
Good
Love to see it.
The Steve Chews of the world. So, Colin, you've been here at Chestnut Forks as long as I've been coming, so that's like 3 years. What was that, like 5-6 years ago you came here?
I've been here for 4 years now. Couple years before COVID, and now a couple years after. Got here, and one of my big parts of my job was trying to figure out how to maximize revenue. Tennis, I thought we were doing a good job with it. We were moving, and then just dead times, middle of the day stuff, nighttime stuff. And I'll give it to my wife probably. She was the one that started playing before I did.
Oh, so she found pickleball first.
Yes, she was playing before.
And I haven't seen her in years, even though I remember when I showed up as 4-0 Brian and her lighting me up. And she was really good.
She was in the game.
Yeah.
And then kids. But yeah, so when she got here, she's the one traveling, hunting out spots. I think she started to meet some people, and then it was just like, hey, Colin works at a club, can you get us in? And so, say reluctantly, maybe a little bit, I was like, I'll try to find some time.
Okay.
Started finding some time, and, all of a sudden we just started having 10 people, 15 people.
So when you
20
mean
people.
Find some time, so you actually put some time aside for pickleball to come out and play
I
within
started
the
to
club.
find some empty times, some weekend times that we had open, and started with a day. I think we started like a Saturday.
Okay.
And then the famous Wednesday night started shortly after.
Yes.
But things just started to grow with it, and for a while we were having people coming from 2 hours away, driving
still
from
do.
a little bit. I think we just got lucky that we were in the middle of where a lot of people could pull from and come from. And, you and I might be 4 hours away, but chances that we could come together for a couple hours and play with different people and play at a higher level, it just kind of took off. I started some daytime stuff for more of the people around here, and today we had like 45 people today.
Seriously? Oh,
This
wow.
afternoon. It was
Okay.
crazy.
So you're getting ahead of me in my questions there a little bit, but so you start having pickleball, but what you always did a great job was, at least for the evenings that I came out, it's high level.
High level.
And if you're coming in under 4-0, it's going to be a tough night for you.
Bit of a tough sell. I will say that was one of the harder things initially, was grow it, more people, or keep it higher level.
So how did you do that without being rude to the people of the community and letting them know, hey, this is like a 4-5 plus game?
I tried to tell everybody, like, straight up right when they came in, like, hey, what's your level, where are you from? And if they were telling me like under 4 or 5, I was like, it might be a little tough for you guys, might be a little slow, get out there, do your best. But like I don't know. I think one of the harder things for me, like growing up playing all these other sports, was, if you weren't good enough, you didn't get into games. Like you were working on your game to get in with those older kids or whatever it was. And, I didn't want to paddle stack and have everybody like, these are the next 4 people in, you got to play with these 4 people because those were the 3 people that put your paddles with you.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of let it go a little bit and let everybody kind of find their own games and let everybody kind of, do your best to rotate in. I think everybody will play a few games, but I think it worked out. We got a lot of high-level players. We got a good group coming. And I think it just kind of grew from there.
So that is the originations of the Chestnut Forks no look.
That I've heard it. I unfortunately, I don't think I've been on that side of it.
No.
The wrong side of it. I try not to be the one giving it, but I will. Got a phone call real quick and bail out on one of those 3-5-4-0s. But yeah, I mean, I did. I swear, like the 15, 20 minutes of one of the first ones, I heard you talking about how I came for a few weeks and I was getting like the.
Oh yeah, couldn't get in the game. It's like I wasn't that good, and it's like you just deal with it. I mean, I get it. If I'm a higher level player, I don't want to waste my night playing with a bunch of 3-0s. It doesn't help me improve that much. So I get it.
Look at now.
Look at me now. Now I'm still getting no look.
Yeah, James and I know really well about the no look. I think strain was already pretty established when this was going on, and of course you don't get it.
Yeah,
well, if you have all the paddles, so you kind of get the court, right? You come in.
Sometimes people look at my stack of paddles and they're like, "Oh, it's already taken." I'm like, "Oh no, these are all mine." There's nobody on this court. But then sometimes it wards away because I think we tried the paddle stacking method, kind of like a pseudo.
You could kind of get away with it too. You could just stack extra paddles next to it and hold spots.
So if people don't know how it works here, right? There's 4 tennis courts inside, which means that there's 8 pickleball courts.
Correct.
First 4 have permanent lines. The last 4, we tape down lines once they're free. And then basically the courts are just first come, first serve. You hop on. If you want to get in rotation, you just put your paddles down on whatever court you want to get onto. So a lot of it's like you got to have your ears open. You're listening for the score. If the score is 9-9, get your paddle down on that court. So it's a good system here. The
other reason that I like it here is unlike a lot of tennis bubbles that I've played in, it's just deeper. The baselines are deeper. Your back lines are not right up against the wall, which allows for the higher level play and you can get those bigger serves in here.
Like it.
The other cool thing is, so you guys do, other than tennis, you have like a golf simulator, a bunch of those here, and a gym.
We've got golf simulators downstairs. We've got 2 really good pros that are in here, and that's been fun. I mess around.
Okay.
Get out there.
So what percentage of people are coming in? Can I off the street as a non-member come and play golf here? How does that work?
Yep. So golf, we don't have like a membership through that. That's technically a separate side of our business. So they come in and do golf leagues, lessons, stuff like that. Tennis, we have a pool during the summer. We have 4 outdoor courts, and then we have gym classes.
So did you have kickback when you originally were trying to bring pickleball here? Because I know there's a big, let's say, a love-hate relationship. Yeah, with the tennis to pickleball.
Oh, yes. Yeah, man, the emails, the quick conversations that I would have with members when we first got in. I mean, I was taking bullets left and right. Just what is this? Why it's so loud? What? Oh my God, what are they doing out here? And again, it was one of those things. I was just like, guys, it's good for the club. It's going to help with things. That's partially why I tried to find some dead times that I could not rock the boat as much. But boy, oh yeah, did I take some flack for that. Still do, sometimes still do.
Really? 4 years in?
4 years in, still taking it.
I mean, the guys that are watching here, there aren't a lot of people playing tennis, but they have to see that there's quality play. It's not get over and,
I will say it's the noise is just different. So you've got your group of 4 on a tennis court. You're spread out. We're packing 8 people plus people on the sidelines. The noise of multiple balls coming off, like, it can definitely be loud, and I get it to some extent, but I think, like tonight, for instance, we've got one group, and those guys never complain, and they probably have it the worst. Surrounded, just everybody crushing the ball. But yeah, definitely took some early on, and then I think people started seeing that, we did have a good following. We did have a good amount of people coming in, and they kind of laid off me a little bit, but I mean, I'll still get comments. Still get it, especially during the winter where court time starts coming harder.
Yeah.
I get, well, why are we letting people in? Why can't I book a court during that?
But I have to imagine that you have a really good argument with those guys, and that the revenue that's created through pickleball has been pretty dang good.
Yeah, we've done good. It's definitely been a help, again, filling some of the dead times, and then just, chances that I'm going to fill 3 courts with a clinic at 7:30 to 10 o'clock at night on a Wednesday, not as good. So finding this where we can count on it, and, again, we're getting 8-10 people per court, having everybody coming in. We've done good with it. I've been happy with it, and honestly, outside of the nets that I have to replace every few
you can buy
months.
better nets. You can buy really nice nets.
Listen, why don't you find something, find a sponsor out here.
C&D
pickleball nets.
That's right.
There you go.
Yep, $2,500 a piece. I'm all in. I am all in if you can figure it out. But yeah, no, it's been a really helpful thing. And plus, just adds people into the club is always a good thing. Never a bad thing.
Are you the pro and the GM here, or you answer to a GM?
So we have a GM, so it's owned by a family here, the Maloneys. So I am the director of racket sports.
Okay.
So I get all the fun racket stuff. We have separate golf stuff, separate swim stuff, but all the tennis stuff and pickleball stuff is me.
So in the beginning, you're going, look, this is going to make the club money. This is going to be a good thing. It's a growing sport. And now it's proven its worth, I have to imagine.
Yeah.
And you're not having that conversation with them much anymore.
No. Initially, think about, what was I charging?
Was it like $8 drop in?
No, I think it was even less. So funny story. We'll get you real quick. Brad Barker.
Yep, the dude.
Shout out Brad.
Brad
Brad is that guy.
The guy, right? So I remember, like, Saturdays we're getting in, and Brad hits me up. He's like, "Hey man, I can bring people in. We can get some numbers in here." And I remember, like, I swear to God, it was like $5 or something. I'm like, $5, and, like, listen, we stay here for, like, I book it for 3 hours. We stay here 4.
Yeah, midnight
Yeah,
sometimes
I
or
mean,
later.
We're late, right? And I wish I could pull up the message and find it, but I remember Brad being like, "Dude, $5. No way. You're pricing yourself out of the game. Pricing yourself out of the game."
That sounds like
and
Brad.
he's just, like, hammering me on this, like, "No way, dude. $3. People pay $3. Nobody's gonna pay more than $3." And I'm like, I'm sitting here like, $3, dude. This is $3. Like, what can I do? And I'm like, "Oh, we got to do 5." And he's like pissed with me. And I'm sitting here. I'm like talking to my GM, and I'm like, trying to give him something for pick. I think we can maybe get 20 people. Like, we'll do good. We'll get it up to 20 people. And I'm sitting there like $3. I'm like, $3. Like, can't cover the desk staff for this. And but yeah, I think we started. I really think we started at like $5, and now we're up to a whopping $15.
Yeah.
What
You
does
went
Brad
up. I
think?
thought I was paying $12. I got to start looking at my credit card.
Right.
Bills.
See, you gotta price me out.
We sent out an
my
email.
gosh.
It went out.
It went into my spam box. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. So now it's definitely like, making some decent money. Like the pickleballs, I get some decent prices on those. The nets, there's not a lot of, like, money that you have to spend to keep it rolling. Mm-hmm. It's my time more than anything.
Dude, so now that Dura's going away from PPA, are you going to stop buying them and go to a different ball?
What are we gonna go to?
The Selkirk Pro S1.
Is that the ball?
It's pretty nice, dude. I played with it today where it wasn't frozen solid, and it's a good ball.
Do you have
Yep.
one on you?
No.
Oh,
Of course
I
not.
played last night. It was cold out in D.C., East Potomac. and we were smacking the ball. I mean, I probably had like 3-4 games outside at least with the Selkirk. It's barely scratched, no cracks at all.
Did you notice though when it's cold that it feels rock hard? It's the thickness of like an X40 with the spin of a Dura.
I could see it off some people's paddles. It was kind of clunking, but with my gearbox, it was flying. So
It's popping off.
it was fun with the gearbox.
Counters all day.
I think it was dipping. It was flying.
Nice. So this has generated a ton of revenue, or at least a good bit of revenue, because I know last year, we haven't seen this kind of numbers yet, but at some points we were having like 60 people show up for a Wednesday night.
It was like 2 weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago. There was so many people.
We did. We had a bunch all of a sudden. Just came out of nowhere. Like we were up around 50 people again. But yeah, the last couple of years, once we hit that winter stretch, I feel like we were consistently 50 to 60 people, and I mean, it's crazy. Like, I've got some pictures and videos of it, but it's just like crazy looking out and being like, there's 50 or 60 people. It's like a game on, a game off, and all, again, like 4 or 5 plus players, like everybody getting after it. It's like, it's pretty cool.
No, it's very cool what you've created. That's the reason I wanted to come out here, is that there's a lot of indoor facilities in all of Northern Virginia, Maryland. I've been to them, and they're all overrun with low-level players. And I get that because it's bringing the money in. They're paying for the court time. They're having fun. But, like, this is one place where you can come and you'll get good games.
I think that's where we got lucky with some things. Like Wednesday night, everybody getting out of work, and it's like, am I going to go find 3 other people, 4 other people, go grab a game, or I'll just go to Chestnut. And you're going to bank on there's going to be good players. You're going to get some good games.
And
I think that's where we got lucky.
You can get a game with the Vero-Casavant and get just pelted right in the center of my chest.
Tattoos, free tattoos.
Free tattoos
Let's
all
go.
day.
Took a Tui right to the chest.
With a delaminated carbon.
Listen, I just got 2 new ones. I don't want to be going into a tournament here with people and all this power.
Apparently the new ones, even if they're new, they don't pass testing.
I had that last paddle I played with it 5 times.
And then
it's Poppy. Wow. It's Poppy.
Yeah.
Poppy.
Better watch out.
Oh, I do. I'm glad you drop most of the time when we play. I appreciate that. So you found pickleball. How long have you been playing now? Like 3-4 years?
So I was playing. The job that I had before, we, similar thing. We had random people come in, eyeballing our courts and offering to pay $3 for a drop-in to come in and play.
Dude, Barker is so rich.
And like just the same thing. And, I was at like a higher, like junior facility where, tournament travel and that was my main thing. And we just started having so many people, and we were like, we got to do something for them. Like we're like the tennis pros that come down that can't keep track of the score. Like, so we all went out and we got certified, and we at least did that. We started some programs while we were there, and then kind of started playing. It was mostly just something for us to mess around. Like literally I think the second time I ever played was a tournament that we were holding at our club.
Okay.
And I'm the one sitting there like 3, 6, 4. Like, what are you guys like? What are we doing? And I had to have my poor partner, sitting there going 4-3-1, 4-3-1. I'm like, yeah, 4-3-1, and like trying to figure this out. And we wind up getting second place in the tournament, and like people are pissed. People are pissed. Like we're lobbing 50 feet in the air, like just messing around, and these people are like dead serious. So like I had played a little bit before I got here, and then when I got here, just tennis. I wasn't playing as much tennis anymore, and trying to go to DC to go play in a league was not fun for me. So I started playing a little more pickleball. So I'd say I've probably been playing for 4 years.
So did part of your coming to pickleball so Ben Wanger, your boy,
Hefty Lefty,
boy, yep.
Big shout out.
He told me that part of the deal that he doesn't play tennis anymore is just so hard to find people that would give him a good match.
100%.
Yeah. And but then pickle comes over and you're like, okay, this is fun, and there's a lot more people that are fun to play with.
Yeah, definitely something different. Like I'm sure Ben is in the same boat. Like, grew up playing tennis, played so much. My job is tennis, working 40, 50, 60, whatever a week, and trying to figure out how to be like, hey, I worked all this time. Let's go spend 3 hours going to play tennis somewhere and pretend like I'm still having fun with this. And like, so it's honestly something to get away and just, using the same skill set, but then being able to do something different. New people, as weird as this sounds, younger. Is that odd to think that pickleball maybe has younger people than tennis? Like,
wow. Well, you're seeing it more than I.
For
I'm not
like
working
casual play, right? For sure.
yeah, I mean,
You
gotta think like there's so many people that I'd play with that, like more of the young people are getting into pickleball, and we're seeing like a bunch of people that played tennis before that are transitioning in. So odd to think about pickleball actually swinging back to the younger side of things. But yeah, it was just something that I could use the same skill set, new people, also just the variety. I think that's the fun part of pickleball is, in the area, I might have 5, 6 people that I can play tennis with. And then go and play pickleball, and you're rotating through 20 people, and you're playing a few games here, a few games there. So I think that's the fun part of pickleball. Yeah, I mean, just something new. A lot of people are into it. Good for our club that I'm out there playing anyway, so a win-win.
Yeah, and it's good for us, and I definitely appreciate you're out there playing. It's always good to get games. We've talked about this ad nauseum in the last 4 episodes, but just always, one of the things about pickleball is you're always looking for a better game, better players, just to take those losses, because if you're winning everything, you're not getting any better.
I think it's so different from like tennis. Like tennis, you go out and you are practicing. You are working with somebody, you're drilling. To be fair, I don't think a lot of us drill. So you're going out, you're playing games, and you're getting your reps in games. You're figuring out what works in games. As much as probably at a higher level that changes completely is where it goes to way more drilling and less rec play. But I think the majority of people, unless you're training to go pro and like that's your sole focus, you're playing games.
Yeah,
you're getting reps in. You're playing against different people. You're practicing things in games. I know I'm super competitive, so the idea of me going out and drilling, anybody that knows me, I might make it as a warm-up for a tournament. I might make it 10 minutes. Like, if you want a good warm-up, like, I've had so many partners that are like, all right, I got to grab somebody to warm up with because, Colin's done.
He's out.
He's already checked out.
Warm up, not for me.
I see Colin eating nachos over there at the vendors.
I'm good, guys. I'm good. Grab me a beer. Let's go.
What's your plan for 2024? Pickleball. I know you played some pro tournaments. You're up at Philly. I think you went to Jersey this year. Played a couple APPs. What else did you play? How'd they go? What are we looking for 2024? I know you got a big partnership with Paul Olin at the Legends tournament at the end of this year. So what you got on the map?
I would love to say that I could play more. My pickleball tournaments are spent during my summer vacation.
Nice.
I'm playing in this one because
it's here,
and this is my work. Honestly, it's so tough for me to travel right now. I would love to, like, that number that I would love to hit is 6. I would love to play 6 a year. I think that would be fun for me to get like a realistic idea of some things, like, playing some APPs and stuff. This year especially, like, I played a few years before. This was like the first year that I felt pretty comfortable playing. Like, I wasn't blown away. I mean, we took some L's. Everybody's going to take some L's.
Yeah.
But like, I just didn't feel horribly uncomfortable playing. Like, felt like you get enough reps in, and I think that's you climbing up the ladder with everything. You're playing 4-0 and you start playing more games with 4-5s. All of a sudden you start to feel like you belong. You start feeling you're ready for some things. You've got some better idea of strategy. You're noticing what people are picking on. Yeah, I would love to play more, but 2 young kids, a lot of work. I'm going to say, if I'm lucky, 4
4.
Four is the number.
1 a quarter.
4. Let's get it.
All right.
Let's get it.
That's who are the guys that you're looking to play with, like partner wise? Paul Olin, he's a senior pro. You're not that old yet.
I'm not there yet. Split age. Watch out. We're coming. We're coming.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a hard thing with partners. Is like, I played with Josh Jenkins in a couple of those, and Josh and I play well together. But it's hard to grab partners. Like, hey, I'm Colin. I haven't played.
I'm ready to play 4 tournaments this year.
Right? Like roped in. Like, yeah, dude, let's go. Let's get it.
And I don't drill, and I'm a 5'5".
Right? Like, so how do I go? Like trying to grab somebody to go play. Like, you go through and you're looking at my duper that has, my last tournament was 8 months ago, and like, oh yeah, no, I play twice a week. Yeah.
Tough sell.
It's a tough one. I definitely love to play more, but it's not there. I'm not free and young like somebody like yourself. What are you carving out this year? What do you got? What are you
James?
Going?
He's
12,
he's playing
15?
1 a week.
I don't even
one a
know.
week.
We're pumping them.
Every local one basically, and then we'll see which ones I travel to. But
do you have any that you think doable for you to travel to? And like, how have you? So I mean, you're in the same boat. Like you started playing some. How have you been trying to get partners? Like, I'm assuming that's a harder part because you get the player off the waiver wire that doesn't have a partner, and you're like, oh, what am I getting into?
Exactly. So I don't know. So I did that a few times last year, where I just like picked up a rando, and a blind date is tough.
Yeah,
it's always going to be tough. I played one down in Daytona with Max Green. Shout out Max, who played really well. We made to the last round of qualies in the PPA. But yeah, I think just getting some more experience, kind of get my name out there a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then honestly, just you get a few decent results, right? You make a couple main draws,
Yep.
and then it kind of that changes things for people looking for partners. So
Well, that's exactly right. So how about this partnership that I just heard about, which Jack Sock is playing with Colin to
they're
start
going to
the
get
year.
waxed.
They're going to get smoked.
I think that's an interesting one.
Colin's got one good result in singles.
It was a big one though.
It was a legit one.
I mean, he rode that out for a while.
Yeah.
Fair game. I think Jack Sock, that's going to be such an interesting one. He is a stud.
Yeah.
See how long it takes him to figure out pickleball, and you have no clue how much he's playing.
Yeah.
How much is he playing?
From what I hear, he's playing a lot. The interesting thing is, like, his last men's doubles tournament, he was with McGuffin.
Sure.
I mean, you got a legit partner there,
Yeah.
and they got smokified. It was not pretty.
Doubles, I feel like singles. I mean, singles, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can figure it out. He's got shots. Doubles at a high level, I mean, they're figuring out what your weakness is quick, and they are, if you're not making adjustments really quick, I mean, you're running off points and you're down 6-0 all of a sudden, you're down 8-1. You're like, you get it out of hand quick. But again, he's a good player. Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see where he goes with it and how quick he gets it. Interesting to see partnerships. Like, that's kind of a surprise to me that was the partnership that he got. Like,
I would agree, especially when he's got Parento on
Selkirk, right? It's a Selkirk thing.
Okay, that's
Colin Schick's a Selkirk boy. I'm sure Selkirk set it up, right?
Sure.
Okay.
So if they do well, that's going to be big marketing for them. I remember I was down in Charlotte this year when Jack Sock played with Anna Lee.
Yeah,
who did he
won
play
the
with?
whole thing.
Yeah,
mixed.
he won
and they
mixed.
played McGuffin and got smoked like first round.
Got smoked. He did all right in singles. I think he had a winner too.
Oh, he had a couple.
Yeah. But I think that men's is definitely going to be tough for him.
Yeah,
for sure. They're going to pick on him so hard.
Well, I think him and Catherine can do really well. I mean, he's a legit player. He needs somebody that he doesn't have to carry, and Colin's pretty erratic at best right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fair.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mike Strain?
Yes, agreed.
Let me hear your insight on this.
Not about the paddle.
Yeah, I'm my hinds on the paddles. You know, what are they using? What kind of technology is coming out next year? You know, I actually got a chance to meet Pickleball Will a couple days ago.
Yeah, he'll be here
Came
tonight.
by a local court. Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome. So he had a bunch of paddles. Got to try the carbon concept.
So Will's got the #2 podcast out right now. Him and Chris Olsen, the Pickleball Studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had people come up to me and say, "Are you Pickleball Will?" Like legit. Over 10 people in my short pickleball career.
So Will, love you, but James is way better looking than you are.
Thank you.
So we get a lot of love here at the
He's
Pickle
taller.
Pulse.
So we're playing a game tonight. Winner takes
Winner takes best pod.
pod.
Yeah. All right.
That's as long as I get you as my partner. I think that's
bring some
legit.
paddles. That's
Yeah. Hopefully, he brings some. He's got like prototypes.
Dude, he's got some crazy stuff I saw.
Really?
Yeah, he'll be bringing a couple of new ones.
Yeah, the carbon. Did you? Let's see. He had the carbon. He had a Selker too.
Yeah, you were showing me those pictures you took.
That was pretty cool.
I saw the Tuesday night pickleball league, the Arizona league last night.
Yep.
Ben and Colin Johns were doing like commentary on it,
No way.
and they were talking about
That's awesome.
the new Eula paddles coming out next year, early next year. They said
Yeah.
the C2 just came out or whatever. It's the Hyperion paddle with the whatever shape, the old shape, or with the
Okay.
Perseus paddle technology in the Hyperion shape. But they're like,
So it'll be like a 6-0.
you're not ready for the new stuff that's coming out next year. So I don't really know. I'm not into the paddles. I just whatever. I used the Diadem Warrior Edge for like
that is.
a year. So
When I was sponsored by Head. It was tennis.
I remember that.
And I had, they like sent me paddles because I was teaching now, right? So I go through, legit, I had to have gone through like 2 years, 3 years of I'm playing with what I later find out is not even like their top of the line, like one. Like, it's like the one that you get at Dick's for like $20-$30.
That's what they send you out, the pro?
So
Thanks for taking care of us.
I think I
Ed.
picked it because I was like, oh, dude, the colors. Yeah,
Looks
I
cool.
like that.
That's
I
what
like
I did
that
my
one.
first paddle,
I'm in,
yeah.
right? And so I can't even remember who it was, but somebody was like, oh, man, let me see your paddle. And I was like, here you go. And he's like, oh, this is like the cheap one. He's like, do you use this? And I go, yeah, like that's what I was playing with here. And he's like, oh. Like I could just hear it in his voice that he was like so disappointed that he just lost to like somebody using a $20 paddle. And here I am thinking like, dude, yeah, it's hot paddle right here. Here we go.
Look at the colors. It's pretty.
He's
Right, this thing
held
was
on to
good.
that paddle for like years, like just Head.
I didn't know.
I've spent like years trying to
know.
get him to try other things. I think not only until like maybe the carbon one was I think the
That
only
was
one
the-
you've moved on
that
to
was the
since then
only-
that came
Well, you
out.
played with the Colin Johns Electrum, the second one they dropped for like a second. I remember you playing. Maybe?
Might have been trying mine.
Maybe tried something,
Okay,
but
yeah.
like
Sometimes
I
just
had
picking
the
up
original carbons, and then I got the new ones, and I've never had anything else. Mm-hmm. Like, I to be fair, for a while, like early on, how much of a difference was there in paddles? Like, right? Like
Not
there
until
wasn't.
the last year and a half, 2 years.
No, getting on the
I
carbon
mean,
was a good jump.
right.
It was a significant
Battle
jump
Tech was
to
the big dog
paddles.
at the time. I mean, we talked about this, and the Tempest Wave Pro was a great paddle, and seemed like a lot of people were playing with that.
Not me. Not me.
No. No. So what's your take on the hotter paddles, Colin? I mean, I know you like to play with delaminated carbons and just
Awesome.
put tattoos all over everybody.
I mean, listen. So you can tell when a paddle, gets poppy all of a sudden, gets hot. Like, but I mean, at the same time, I all of a sudden can't reset a ball to save my life. What's your trade-off? Like, are you gonna really like? I get it. I also can't drive the ball to save my life on a third. I'll drop balls, but I'm not a big driver on it. At the net, I'll swing out of my shoes, but realistically, if the paddle's hot, doesn't matter. That thing's I'm taking cuts up there.
Yeah.
it's like he's in the golf sim. Just
let's
hacking.
go. So I mean, honestly, like I go through paddles so quick. Like I'll have some that last me a year, and then I'll get some like legit. The last paddle that I had, I played with it 5 times. Played with it 5 times, and I think 3 of them it was probably pretty hot. Like I just ordered a couple new ones today that they sent me. Awesome, thank you.
Are you a Carbon rep?
Yeah. So that, and then they send me like player package stuff. And honestly, they've been awesome with it. Like every time that I've gone to a tournament, and especially recently when they're testing more, I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to a tournament. Like, can I get a couple? And she'll send me out a handful of them, and like they're really good about it. But yeah, I mean, I think obviously right now they're pushing technology and they're trying to, get everything to the edge, and just quality control. What are you hoping for? I think until they get an actual system to test things and something that everybody knows what it is, you're going to have these issues. It is, and right now, unfortunately, it's part of the game.
Yeah. Well, I just think that, like, as long as we go to an exit velocity test,
sure,
where you don't have 2 or 3 paddles that can counter 4 times harder than everyone else, then I'm good with it. It'll be standard. No one has a paddle that's so much hotter than the rest.
Sure.
So, like, Mike is loving these gearboxes right now, but I played with Coach Pickles. Shout out to Coach Pickles. And, who did we take down in this last tournament? Oh, it was James Broker and Alex Spancake.
I was violently hungover that day.
Wow, there is excuses already, but I'm going to say that there was a big W that day.
I'll give shout out to Brian Green. I mean, he must have had a stomach virus the night before because he was light, and his partner just absolutely carried him. And shout out to Pickles.
Dude, he's good with that gearbox.
Yeah.
He's really good.
That was your partner, right?
Yeah.
Coach Pickles, he'd been hitting leg day. He carried Brian, but yes, I was violently hungover.
Excuses.
I mean, whose decision was it, and who can't bounce back?
I'm cool taking. I made my donation. I felt good.
Yes, coming back with my money that day never felt so good. It was just a wonderful day in Brian Green's world.
Got to keep my seat on the pod. Yeah. I can't. It was a business decision.
We need to put that in Duper, James. Get that 5.1 down a little bit and bring my 4.7 up.
I'll put anything in Duper. Duper doesn't matter, except when you're looking for partners. That's the only time it matters.
Lost to Brian Green.
No. Isn't that guy old and chubby?
That's that 3-5 podcast guy, right? So, shout out Brian for beating me. It wasn't even close.
That was nice. Yeah, it was a good day. And I'm looking forward to our singles match when you're playing with the aluminum paddle and you lose, too.
Did you bring that tonight?
No, I didn't bring it tonight, but let me know.
I already played 2 hours today, man. I'm smoked. I can't. Yeah.
Always an excuse.
Just thinking about, you see a lot of high-level players here. And what would be the one mistake that you see a lot of? If you could put your finger on it, I know this is kind of a tough question, but what would be the one, like 4.0 to 4.5 mistake that you would want them to clean up to get them kind of to the next level, to that 5.0 mark?
Sure. I guess common things that I would say, difference of levels. Couple things come to mind. Definitely transition game. Like, people, I still remember being taught this was like, hit the ball and then run to the kitchen. Like, get up there, go.
Yep, I remember that.
And like,
you can't do that anymore.
Not gonna work. I think learning and understanding transition games and how to soften balls and reset balls, I think that is such a huge difference between, 4.0s, 4.5s, 4.5s, 5.0s even. Is a lot of the reset. Everybody should be able to put some balls away. Everybody should be able to add some pace. Being able to comfortably reset some balls, dig your way through and not be rushing into a bad spot. I definitely think that's a big one. Another one to me is I try to do everything that I think I do well. I try to make sure that I have 1 or 2 things off of that keeps it fresh, because, as higher level players, you should be able to figure out, wow, he chicken winged me 6 times in a row. Mm-hmm. Can I get out of that? Like, if not, then you're probably not a high level player. But being able to really think your way through of, this is a really good attacking shot for me. What's going to keep that fresh? Is it going to be hitting a shoulder? Is it going to be pulling that ball, short angle, whatever it is. So I think the variety and being able to kind of work your way through, again, higher level players, you're going on runs, and then you're trying to not let other players go on runs. You're trying to change that game plan so you can stop some of those runs. So I think, those are probably two bigger things, is people getting caught up is, this is my shot, this is what I do well, and just riding it out too long until all of a sudden that becomes your weakness. Now I'm sitting on that trying to counter that. I'm smart enough to think of that, and then just overall confidence on some transition games, resets, stuff like that is where, tennis players' common thing. I'm going to bang the ball from mid-court and try to rip my way through it, where it's like, it works at a 4-0, maybe a 3-5. People are getting overpowered by things, and then all of a sudden you play somebody that goes, nope.
Yeah, and it comes back harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I would agree in that transition is huge. It's one of the things I'm trying to work on in my game to get my duper over 5-0 if I ever.
Is that the goal for 2024?
It was a goal for 2023. It didn't happen.
Sensitive subject. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
The funny thing is I need to drill a little bit more, and I think we'll be there. So we set goals, and sometimes we don't achieve them, but we try again.
All right.
How many tournaments did you play in 2023?
I played 2 tournaments.
That is why your duper's not moving.
Well, one of them was with you, and it was a demoralizing deal that we're not even going to talk about.
Now when Brian asked me to play a tournament, I don't think he's actually asked me since.
No, I didn't, because I didn't deserve to get you the first time, and I'm not going to bring you down
that was
time.
A tough drive home from Richmond, Virginia.
For you or for me?
Both.
Yeah, I would
I'm
say
sure.
so. There's a lot of pouting and crying and thinking about my life on the way home.
But yeah, I mean, if you want your duper to go up, you have to play tournaments. You have to get stuff entered, because obviously no one's entering rec games. So you need to be in a sanctioned U.S.
Well, I'm going to play more tournaments.
Tournament.
The Pickleball Pulse is going to cause me to play more tournaments, and then I'm going to be out meeting the people, shaking hands, kissing babies, doing the deal.
Winning some medals.
Yeah, winning some medals, proving that, we belong. But what I was going to say is high-level players, I think the other thing that I want to work on outside of transition game is keeping the pressure on the other team when you're up at the kitchen line.
Sure.
So making sure that, their thirds are not as effective as they want them to be and keeping them back seems to be something. I find that the better players really have a great game there. It's hard to get to the kitchen line.
Make it tough.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? This is always something for me, teaching-wise, that I always find interesting. What have you guys gone through noticing, where were your big jumps in your games? What happened or what clicked for you guys that, I went from stuck at a 4-0 for months, and then all of a sudden, I really started focusing on this. This got me that jump. What was it for you guys?
For me, I think I've been such a soft game player. I no racket sports, so speeding up the ball, hitting drives, had no idea how to do that really. I could flick balls, but only so much speed at the time. Biggest thing for me was actually starting to play singles, because then I said, I can have freedom to swing. I have all this space. I can go down the line now. I can really feel that out. And then I think that was the biggest jump for me, from going from 4-0, 4-5, and 5-0. Try to figure out what that step is, that aggressive side is.
The biggest thing for me was patience. Once I discovered that you actually don't have to speed up every single ball.
Crazy.
Anything that bounced at the kitchen, I was basically teeing off on. And then I was at one of the APPs, I don't know which one it was, and I just watched them dink for 80 shots per rally. And I was like, okay, this is the right way to play the game, right? Obviously, you have your speed ups where you're flicking it, picking your spots, just being smart about it. But you need to be comfortable enough to just sit in a dink rally for as long as it takes. And then once you have that patience, then you can find those high balls that you can really attack on.
Yeah, look for the right ones. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that much. And for me, it's just I just had to learn to protect myself. I feel like I've been a target my whole life.
Just a punching bag.
Just a target.
Just eat more food.
And the funny thing is that no matter what level I get, when I play with the better players, it's immediately let's bag green. Let's bag them. And Colin's laughing because he's putting many a marks on me.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah.
So making sure my backhand covers, and then trying to have a decent counter, which I've gotten better at.
Another one for me is just being ready, right? The ball, you just have to assume that it's always coming back.
Yeah.
Because not only was I speeding everything up before, but I also thought my speed ups were winners.
Sure.
When all of a sudden it's starting to come back and play better players.
One. Come on.
It's like getting body bagged on the counter and just not being ready. So speeding up, right? Having patience, waiting for those good speed ups, but then also realizing that while they might not hit a perfect ball back, they'll probably pop it up, but it's coming back. So you gotta be ready, sitting on it, kill that ball.
I definitely think that's a huge one. Like I found, again, everybody goes through it. You feel like you're teeing off on things, and then you get to another level, and those balls are coming back. Really looking at, are you winning on the first one, or are you really sitting on the second one? Like, I'm speeding up so I can get a better one on the next one to get you to pop something up. And I think that's, again, go out and play 4-0 and you're blasting balls and people are complimenting you on how good you are. And, oh, my God, he's so good. Look at that shot. And then you go and you play on a Wednesday night here, and all of a sudden that ball's coming back and you're tattooed on your own speed up. It's never a good sign. Never a good look.
Horrible.
I think what James says, too, is, it's probably key for what a lot of people could probably try to relate to is, the patience thing. At almost at any level, because lower level, it's a rush. There's a million things going through their heads. They maybe learned a technique, but not really sure, and so there's a lot of this noise out on the court.
Sure.
And the patience really just maybe letting that ball drop, let it bounce, let it get high. Then you have more time. You're looking at the whole court in front of you. You can actually maybe start thinking about where you actually want to place your shot.
Yeah. No, I agree.
No, I like that very much. I think this is a killer little wrapping up spot. And, a couple of things I want to hit on. Number one, if you're 4 or 5 plus and you want to come test yourself, if you're from other areas, Chestnut Forks in Warrington, all you have to do is put it right in your Google or your iMaps. It'll take you right here. And it's a great testing ground. And for those guys that are trying to get better, once you feel like you're close, I think this would be a good spot to come maybe get some no looks. But at the same time,
a welcoming atmosphere here at Chestnut Forks where you can pay your $15, but you might not get in a game.
They got some cookies though upstairs, some consolation food.
That's it.
The
water's cold and it's always full.
Soup of the day. All right, I've had 4 or 5 soup of the days. Always hits.
We got good food.
It's delicious.
Yep.
And cookies. I'm always here for the cookies.
I definitely think it is cool seeing
thick and doughy.
Just seeing all the new people, and you can tell somebody, and I'll be at the desk and hey, who invited you, and it's so and so, and it's they told me that I should come here. It's so cool seeing that. That's one of the coolest things for me. It's just getting the newer people that are I was scared to come here, but now all of a sudden they're in the fold. They're they're coming through. I think that's such a cool thing, and I think it's definitely been really neat seeing all the players cycle through here and getting all the fresh faces and just so many good players coming through.
And watching guys come up as well.
Yeah.
I mean, when Broker started playing here, he was a solid 3-5. He's made it up to 4-5 status now.
Got a lot of no looks when I came first.
I was kind of in the same boat.
I was nice to get the invite though. Yeah. I was always looking for games, and then someone's like, "Yo,
who got you here?"
I don't know. I was trying to think about that when we were talking about it earlier. I don't remember who invited me first.
That's always my favorite thing. It's who invited you?
Steven Chu. Someone told us.
Oh, I don't know. I'm like, no, don't do this to me. Who invited you? If you get somebody that's up there and they're like, oh yeah, he told me to come. I'm like, all right, yeah, get out there, go out there. And then when I get oh yeah, I don't know, I heard about it. I'm like, this is gonna be dicey. Good luck.
They're holding the Amazon paddle.
Yeah, but you can usually tell just by first of all, what equipment someone uses, right? If someone's using a $20 head paddle, they're probably not that good.
Listen, I might take it out tonight.
I'm just saying.
Nobody's going to say it's D-Lamb tonight. I'm going to take
No.
Yeah.
No, but CF is a great spot to come play some pickle. You guys have a killer facility for stretching, for working out. Actually, I get here 30 minutes early, and my old self stretches out usually with the mats.
Get loose.
That. Yep, and then the golf and the pool. I mean, it's just a really nice place, and
Fun blend.
I am happy to be out here to personally thank you
Love
for
it.
leaving it open, as McNally said in his Facebook post, for all us late night pickle degenerates that want to
here.
play till midnight.
Yes.
We're here late.
Yes, and it's just so fun, and it's a great place to be, and it's helped us come up.
I'm glad.
And if you're enjoying this pod and you want to find us on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, you can find us at The Pickle Pulse.
The Pickle Pulse on all socials.
That is correct. And you'll start seeing some shorts because James is going to be on that, right, James?
Maybe.
Otherwise, just keep pickling, keep having fun, and we'll see you next time. Peace.